I'm Paul Sibley, resident of Colorado, live in Marshall, Colorado, born and raised here in the state. My parents and all my grandparents. Outdoors has always been part of my existence, thanks to my parents. The climbing trip that I was involved with in Europe in the early 70s with a good friend, Mike Weiss. We had been ice climbing here in the States for a bit by that time, and having developed our ice climbing basically began by climbing steep frozen waterfalls. This is a climb that Mike Weiss and I did in Chamonix, the north face of Guide du Triolet. It's a big north face. It's basically an ice climb. This was one of the kind of early test pieces we wanted to do. It's known in the Alps as kind of one of the lesser of the grand courses. A good way to kind of see how you perform on a big north face in the Alps. That morning we got up and as I said earlier, and crossed and we got onto the wall. It was good. Things were going well. There was a German party that was below us and to our right. They were trying very hard to pass us, and neither Mike and I didn't think that was a good idea. But we weren't putting ourselves in a position where we were climbing careless or too fast. Leader had just crossed a small snow ribbon on the ice, and his crampons he had balled his crampons up with snow, so he didn't have enough points sticking through or out of his. Didn't have a good enough purchase with his crampons because they were clogged with snow. And when he stepped out off that snow back into the ice, he just took a giant ride. So obviously he fell a full rope length, and then another rope length past his belayer, so he was already 300 feet. And the belayer was plucked off the wall like being shot out of a cannon. And the two of them fell several thousand feet. Mike climbed up to me. I just set up a belay. He was standing to the left of me. We're basically standing shoulder to shoulder. I hear Mike scream, "Rock!" I look up, and there's several large rocks coming down the ice. And man, they're looking like they got our number. And then Mike gets struck with a rock on his left thigh, on his left calf. It was a pretty major injury. It took and tore his calf off, so his foot and his leg immediately swelled twice to maybe 2.5 times its normal size. Passed out, came to. The only thing we could do was climb out of there. Did several pitches to where we could get to a place where I figured a helicopter could pluck him off the wall. First pitch and a half or so, every time he made a move like that, I'd pull the rope up and he'd pass out. He'd faint. I left him with my duvet, my down parka, and then what little food we had and water. Left him with the rope. And I went to the summit and then descended down off the triolet onto the Italian side. Not the normal descent route. Got down off the glacier, kind of half walking, half trotting down the hill. Met an Italian running down the hill, and I stopped and told him what had happened, and I was pretty beat up by that time. So I gave him a description of where I left Michael. And he was a long distance runner. That's why he was up there. And he took that information and ran down, got in his car, drove down to the mouth of the Mount Blanc tunnel and called through the tunnel to Chamonix, and was able to get through to the helicopter rescue folks, and they had just in time. If it had been a few minutes later, it would have been dark. and Michael would have had to spend the night.